Hello RCC, welcome to your third LX update. This obviously is concerning our All of Us Generosity Initiative and everything that's happening over and around 3405 Atlantic. I hope you guys are doing well. We're in the Advent season. It's a fun time. The first thing I wanted you to know is the actual building, so 3405, we've got the two buildings there. The drawings are right at 90% complete, meaning the architectural drawings. There's still some things that we're completing with different surveys, waiting on all of that to come back. But we actually have a design team meeting over at the facility to do a final walkthrough with the drawings here tomorrow. So we're really nearing the end with that part of the process, which is a very important part of the process, which will move us into the next phase in the coming months, which is making the final decision on who's actually going to build the new property and do the demo and all of the work that needs to be done. So Aspen is the one that has gotten us this far. They've done the drawings, they did the original concepts. They will be one of a few different contractors that we allow to bid on the project. We still do want to make sure that we're making the best decision for RCC every step of the way. So this is a checkpoint in the process. So Aspen, as well as some other contractors that our connections inside of RCC know will be bringing to the table, so that we can make sure that we choose the right GC, the right contractor that's going to get the right subs, it's going to do the best work for our church. So be praying about that. Now, in between this part of the process and that part in the process, we have completed an asbestos survey, and we knew from the initial process to purchase the building when we had the guy go over and do the inspection. So the initial inspection report let us know there was asbestos in the building, but the asbestos survey, which specifically looks for asbestos in the building, has revealed that there's quite a lot to deal with. That is common. These buildings were built a long time ago. The one on the left that's coming down was built in the 50s. The one on the right was built in the late 60s. So it was more common during that time for asbestos to be in the building. So what does that mean for you specifically if you've been in or around the building? It doesn't mean anything. If you've walked through the building, if you helped us with Christmas and St. Nicholas and stepped into the downstairs, if you've spent time in prayer at or around the building, you were not exposed to asbestos. That only becomes a problem when they start to do construction, tearing things down. That's when it gets stirred up. That's when it becomes in the air. That's when it's released into the air. It can actually become harmful. So no one's been exposed to anything. I just wanted you to know that. Sometimes when we hear that word, we go, oh gosh, I've been near the building. Don't worry, you would not have been exposed, but we will be taking proper precautions when we begin to demo the building on the left. So just know that we'll communicate when that process starts, and we'll make sure that everyone's safe. Speaking of demolition, that is still a target to happen Q1. This asbestos, we're gonna have to deal with that first. There'll be what's called an abatement process, is like a remediation process to make sure that all of that's sort of secure before we start bringing the building down. That'll take a few months, maybe not that long, but maybe a few months. And if so, when that process is done, we'll begin to bring down the building on the left. So that's where we are with 3405 Atlantic. Just checking here to make sure I covered all the bases on that. Yep, okay. So 2 months ago, I let you guys know the first time about this opportunity that we had to potentially make a move on the building across the street. You're looking at a building called the Miller & Miller building. That's 5,000 square feet. We've been in contact with those guys. We've been in conversation with them off and on ever since the beginning. Well, they have officially listed the property, and they reached out to us to let us know. So one thing that I wanted to share that we can celebrate is that we are actually under a contract with them. And you go, what do you mean we're under a contract? Aren't we trying to raise funds to buy the other building? Well, we're actually in a place financially because of the generosity of this church. Not just the generosity that we're still continuing towards our All of Us initiative, but the general giving of our church has created a surplus over these last few years that we've been able to invest. We've really tried to manage these resources wisely, invest them, and let them make passive income. So because of a result of both your generosity and our financial team guiding us to make the right decisions with the resources that we've been given, we actually stand in a financial position to make a cash offer on the Miller & Miller building, which is a huge celebration. We are in a 60-day due diligence period. That doesn't mean that we're definitely going to purchase this building. It would be very, very helpful for our ministry and mission, meaning that we would be able to do what we would like to do with the downstairs of 3405 Atlantic, meaning leave that open for alpha, mid-sized gatherings, training, equipping, fellowship, community space, as opposed to having to divvy that up into office and smaller rooms. The Miller & Miller building would provide so many opportunities. We already own a small piece of property behind it that we purchased way back early on, so it would create continuous space on that side of the street. There's the potential for parking, there's the potential for, who knows in the future, if we wanted to do anything else with that property, we would have it. But right now it would meet all sorts of practical needs for ministry, for staffing, for training, for prayer rooms. All of those things would be able to happen on that side of the property. So we really do long-term, I use this word carefully because God's in control, but need that space or something like that. It would be very beneficial. It's not a must, but it would really open some doors and make ministry and mission over on that in that part of the city where everything's kind of tight, you know, with parking. It's much more urban than where we are now. So having that space would make a difference. All that to say, be praying. There's probably 52 days left on the due diligence at this point, but we have a lot of time. We have a long runway. We're gonna be having a lot of conversations, meetings, but also checking out the property, lifting up the hood, seeing what's going on, and negotiating the best deal for RCC. I will keep you posted on that and let you know where we stand. So as of right now, finishing the architectural drawings, asbestos abatement, still targeting Q1 of next year for demo. Under contract with a 60-day due diligence period for the Miller & Miller building. Really exciting stuff on both sides. A lot going on. If you're watching this and you're giving consistently, which is over 30 of you, nearly 40 of you, to the future home, to all of us, Generosity Initiative, if you have not pledged, I encourage you as an individual, as a household, to have some conversations leading up to January and make a financial pledge over these next 2 to 3 years. We're so grateful that you're giving. That means a lot. But when you pledge, it helps us plan and it helps us know where we are as we engage with the lenders moving forward. So, love you all. I'm excited about the Advent season, excited about everything God's doing. Continue to pray for wisdom and guidance for myself, the elders, also for our building team and our finance team. All right, guys. See you Sunday.